Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. Glad to be with you. It is December 2nd, and we have a great show for you tonight. You know, our master topic for the entire week is a really good one, and that is promises kept, the power of staying true to your word. And tonight's topic, the granular, we'll get into just a second, but why don't you go get yourself something hot? It's a little chilly tonight. Got a nice hot cocoa here. Maybe you'll get something warm. I don't think you want something cold. Maybe some cookies or something else, but definitely not something cold tonight. All right, so get that and hurry on back so we can kick off the show. All right, everyone? All right, so why does trust matter? Well, a deep dive into this, okay? Building a foundation of security. Trust is the bedrock. And by the way, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, your podcast host, and also a podcast coach. So trust is the bedrock of any healthy relationship. It provides a sense of safety and stability. It allows people to take risks and grow without fear of betrayal, whether it's in personal connections or professional environments. Trust gives everyone the confidence to rely on one another. So, number two, it's about fostering better communication. When trust is present, conversations are open, they're honest, and they're constructive. People feel comfortable sharing ideas, concerns, and feedback without the fear of judgment or retaliation, fostering deeper understanding and collaboration. So this is really important, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people don't understand this, but I think it's important to know that trust is what makes a relationship grow. Now, it might seem hard to embrace that, but it's not. You just have to remember that it's something you take very slowly. And when you embrace something slowly, you get good results. That's really delicious. All right. So, number three, reducing conflict. So, trust minimizes misunderstandings and reduces tension in difficult situations. It helps people assume good intentions and resolves differences more calmly, making it easier to find common ground and solutions. When you build a relationship upon trust, well, there is so much more potential, and you actually feel comfortable with the other person because it has come from trust. It didn't come from any kind of false thing. So I think that's probably the most important thing. So I think it's important to know, what's going on, and that is that trust is key. And I think if you can understand that, then maybe you'll be able to recognize, what's going on. And so if you can recognize what's going on, then you'll appreciate how trust is so paramount to everyone's life. I mean, it really, really is. All right. Trust is the key. Not only does it reduce conflict, but also it can strengthen emotional intimacy. In personal relationships, trust creates a safe space for vulnerability, sharing hopes, dreams, and fears, and becoming more natural, leading to a deeper emotional bond and a greater sense of connection. This is why people always say, you don't want to rush a relationship, because if you get in too far and you don't really understand each other, well, it could blow up. But if you understand each other and there's a problem, you're less likely to blow up because now you've both come from the same pathways. Does that make sense? And I think that's an important thing for a lot of people to understand, is that it's about truth. It's about how taking our time, how building something block by block makes such a very, very big difference in everyone's life. I mean, not just one person's life, but I mean everyone's life. So if we take that belief, then maybe you can understand something very important. And that something very important is the fact that life happens to people when you build the bonds. So life doesn't happen overnight, right? All right. So, number 5, encouraging mutual support. When trust exists, people are more willing to support and uplift each other. It creates that very unique environment where everyone works together to achieve shared goals, knowing they have each other's backs all the time. All right, that's very important. Number 6, improving longevity. So, and of course, the satisfaction of that, whether it's in friendships, romantic relationships, or teams, trust leads to long term lasting connections and ensures that people remain committed to one another even during challenging times and contributes to higher satisfaction. That's why when you build things on trust, they're more likely to last. All right. Number 7, building a legacy of reliability. All right. So trust helps establish a reputation, as we said before, for lots of things, but including dependability and integrity. Over time, it creates a legacy where others know they can count on you, enhancing your personal and professional relationships. Help navigate mistakes is number 8. So no one is perfect in life. No one. But trust makes it easier to address and learn from mistakes. When people trust each other, they are more forgiving and focus on growth rather than blame, turning setbacks into learning opportunities. So when we learn from a mistake, it's much better than if it's blame, because everybody's like always pointing fingers, right? And I think those fingers cause a big problem because people don't understand. I think that's the whole thing. Hopefully that makes some sense for you. All right. So let it navigate your pathway. Let it help you with that trust to build not just bonds, but connections that understand and that support the growth. All right. Number 9, encouraging growth together. So trusting fuels collaboration and shared progress. It enables people to tackle challenges as a united team, creating opportunities for mutual development and success that would be difficult to achieve alone. Transformation, number 10, to challenge and to be into new types of opportunities. So trust transforms adversity into a chance for growth. It gives individuals and teams the resilience to face obstacles together, turning difficult moments into opportunities for innovation and, of course, positive change. So we've covered, wow, an awful lot here tonight. I mean, like an awful lot. I mean, quite a bit. Does this make sense to you? Hopefully it does. I think if we can go from the very beginning, this can make sense. So we talked about a lot today, right? Trust is the cornerstone. Building a foundation of security, right? It's the bedrock. Fostering better communication. Reducing conflict. Strengthening emotional intimacy and ties. Encouraging mutual support. When trust exists, people are more willing to support and uplift each other. It creates an environment where everyone works together to achieve shared goals. Improve the longevity of your relationships. See, that's the whole point, right? That is really the whole point. And I think it's important to understand that. And knowing that when you do something from the heart, when you want to make a connection that's so strong and so powerful, not because you're trying to persuade, okay, or manipulate someone, but because you have an intent to build something real. So many people are out there are like, you know, I want to placate this person or be nice to this person because of what they have or what they can do for me. Be nice to the people regardless of what they can do or not do for you. That's true trust, right? Hopefully that may. Does that make sense, everyone? I think sometimes when we contemplate things like encouragement and challenges, we sometimes get scared because we don't know where it's going to lead to or why something's going to go a certain way. And so a lot of times we'll put up roadblocks, not because we want to, but because we feel we've got to protect ourselves. So, how do you do this right? Well, if you share some vulnerabilities, I'm not saying like everything, but just something, they're going to want to share something with you and vice versa. And so that's a pretty um, amazing thing, right? Really, really amazing thing. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Because if it does, then maybe you'll understand the whole concept of truth, the true trust factor of life, which is what our show is about tonight, the trust factor. Building unbreakable bonds. Now, that might sound like something that's really crazy, but you know what? It's not. It's just about being honest. It's about being true. It's about doing things for the right reasons. I know that sounds a little bit crazy. Does that make sense, everyone? I hope it does. If it doesn't make sense, then maybe you're not understanding what integrity is about. Integrity is about doing the right thing. Doing the right things, right? And by the right thing, I'm talking about things that are going to be for the greater good of all concerned. The greater good of all concerned. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But if it doesn't, then maybe you need to reflect on why you're doing something or why you're not doing something. I think if you can embrace that, ladies and gentlemen, I think then your life will transform. But if you're doing something for a quick shortcut, that's all you're going to get. And truth and trust take time. But as I said before, they can be destroyed in the fraction of a second. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Of course, you know I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Do check out believemeachieve.com. More of my amazing, inspiring creations, and I'll catch you guys real soon, all right? Have yourself a fantastic evening, and remember to like, love, and support all my great content, and I'll see you real soon.